back to Evony with Genghis. I'm going to talk to you about your wall general right now and how to set them up. So we're going to first look at mine right now. And the meta out there of what you should be doing is when you're adding to attacks on your wall general, and this is going to be different than any attack general. And I will go over that, the attack general differences, in a different video. Now, when you're doing wall general, because you have layers, and if you look here at the mounted troop HP, that number 1950, and we'll pretend to refine here, but we won't because that's a very powerful roll. So as you could see, the solid numbers go up to almost 2,000, but the percentages go to 25%. So the percentages will impact your higher level troops at a greater amount. So if we're going to look here, if we look at T1s, and if we add 2,000 health points to the level 1, that's about 100% increase. So that's a very big increase. That is a larger increase than 25%. But as we get to the higher levels, you're going to see that 2,000 health points barely helps. But 25% on that would be a very large number. So for defense, those solid numbers actually do help a lot because of the layers. But we're going to get into that a little bit more in a bit. First, I'm going to explain what you should be doing is, for your wall general, you should be going for mounted troop HP because people are going to be attacking you with archers for the most part. So you want to beef up those calves so they can't kill them easily. It's okay if you roll one high ground health point. You can keep that. You can see mine aren't completely finished yet, but it's okay to keep a ground 1 out of 8 of the hit health points ground, but 7 should be mounted, and you should want 8, but it's okay if you roll a high ground and you keep it. When it comes to defense, you should be going all ground troop defense. But if you roll a high mounted troop defense, it's okay to keep 1 out of the 8. As you can see, I'm almost complete on them, and I'm really liking how my wall general's ending up. So now when it comes to attack, you should be going for all siege, but it's okay if you roll a high range and keep it. You should not keep ground attack because the ground attack is so low, it's almost a waste. But some people do keep it. But I personally think it's a waste as it's only 8,000 compared to what other troops do, and other troops do it from a distance as well. Some people I've seen with mounted troop attack, I also don't agree with that. But now, one of the other things you should be doing is you should be considering those solid points, because one of the mistakes that a lot of people actually make when they are setting up their wall generals is they look at this, right? They look at 38,000 health points for the horse. That's what he gets. If I'm going to get 25% off that, I'm going to add 10,000. That's way better than 2,000. But they're wrong. What you actually need to look at, and not many people have this, I managed to save this. So this right here, so my horses have got a bit better. So at the time of this photo, it was 35,000. Now it's 38,000. But you should be looking at unbuffed horses because that's where it adds from, because this already has percentages. So if you look at this buff here, this is an unbuffed T14 horse. So 12,000. So the 25% actually comes on top of this. It doesn't come on top of the 35,000. It comes on top of this base number, which is about 12,000. So this is on like a Keep 5 account that I took these photos. So they're not very buff. So adding 2,000 health points to a 12,000 horse, you're almost at 20% right there. So, and One of the keys of these solid health point numbers or solid attack numbers, etc., they cannot be debuffed. So when someone scouts you and they see, oh, this guy's only plus 800%, but then you have all these secret percentages on the solid points that cannot be debuffed. So it's not quite as powerful, but it's secretive, and because it can't be debuffed, it is very powerful. So those are some tips for you on your wall general, and things to think about. This is Genghis on server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Okay, so here are the rest of the troops. Actually, I forgot to add them all so that everybody could see the base amounts for all of the troops. I had to deal with a crying baby and feed her. So here are the base amounts. So as you can see, and they're slightly different because they are of different troop types, but here are the base ground troops at tier 14. All the way up to the max. So you could see that is a 35,000 point difference on hit points, and on defense it's a difference of 17,000. So when you're judging those percentages that you get, if you're going to roll a 25% on defense, you're not getting 5,000 added to the 27,000 here. You're actually going to get 2,500 added to the defense. So when you compare that to the solid number you can roll, it's not as extreme. And here on horses, you can see this is the buffed up version at the T14 level, and this is the base level. So you can see the hit points jumped from 12,000 to 32,000. And then if you look here at catapults or siege weapons, this is a base level with only 3,400 attack, and there's a buffed up version with 8,200 attack. I don't have the archers here. I may have them saved in an earlier version. If I do, I'll upload it at some point, but you can basically do the math and figure it out that it's basically 3 times less. All of these look to be about roughly that. So divide by 3 of what you have at your T14 level when you finally reach K35, and then you'll see the actual amounts that it will buff up to, so you can compare those solid numbers versus the inflated numbers on the percentages. And just to recap, the solid numbers are good for defense, but you should not be using those on attack generals, because attack PvP generals, you're mostly attacking with high level troops, so the percentages aren't going to work out as well for you. So again, this is Genghis, server 68, just a small addition to the video because I had to join back in. So like, subscribe, leave a comment.